My childhood friend broke my heart for the dumbest reason. 2 years later, I walked into his family's house as his brother's fiancée. It was the last day of high school, senior year, the day I planned on confessing my feelings to my childhood friend Jeremy. Before I could, Taylor, the pretty senior everyone wanted to date, cornered me by my locker after third period. Her smile was sweet, laced with bitterness. "You need to stop hovering around Jeremy," she said, flipping her gorgeous blonde hair over her shoulder. "He doesn't want you around." I felt my cheeks burn. "Yes, he does. We're friends. He doesn't mind it." "Oh, let's go ask him." Before I could protest, she grabbed my wrist and dragged me across the cafeteria, where Jeremy sat with his basketball teammates. Everyone was watching. She dropped my arm by the entrance and hopped over to them. My heart pounded as she put on her sweetest voice, practically purring as she leaned against his chair. "Hey, I've been wondering," she said, playing with his shoulder. "Is Sarah your girlfriend or what?" Everyone at that table laughed. "Sarah? The nerd with the braces? Are you dating her, man?" one of his teammates asked. "I would never go out with her," he said, loud enough for the nearby tables to hear. "We're not even friends. She just likes doing homework." "Oh, that's cold," they said, bursting into laughter. Taylor glanced back at me with a smirk that said everything. I ran straight to the bathroom where I locked myself in a stall and cried until my eyes were too swollen to hide. Ever since we were little, we'd been best friends. We studied together, played together, went on family trips. We even made matching friendship bracelets at summer camp. And the way he looked at me when it was just the two of us, I really thought he'd fallen for me too. But after that day in the cafeteria, I disappeared from his life completely. I took different hallways to avoid him. I ate lunch in the library. I stopped coming to Sunday dinners, telling my mom I had too much homework. He started dating Taylor the day after hurting me. Eventually, I had the courage to return all of his stuff, everything he had given me over the years. I made sure to go when he'd be at practice. But when I walked into their garage, his older brother Connor was under the hood of a car, sleeves rolled up, grease covering his arms. "Hey Sarah," he said, sliding out from under the car. "Haven't seen you around lately. You okay?" I felt tears build up from his warm question. "Just returning everything." He smiled. "I'm proud of you." "Oh hey, actually before you leave, do you mind helping me with something here? Your hands are a lot smaller than mine." I nodded. He stood behind me, guiding my hand gently into the engine bay. "Just feel for the loose bolt for me." "What's this part do?" I asked. His face lit up. "You actually want to know?" He stood there explaining how engines worked, completely nerding out while I still awkwardly had my hand on the bolt. I laughed loudly. "Hey, before you continue, mind telling me what else I'm supposed to do with this?" "Oh, sorry," he yelled. We spent the rest of the time having fun talking about cars and his dream to open a shop, and I found myself coming back again and again when Jeremy wasn't home. 6 months later, we were dating, both enrolled in trade school, both building something real together. After trade school and a year of flipping cars, we opened our first shop with both families investing. The business exploded through word of mouth. Halfway through the year, we'd expanded to 3 bays with a waiting list for appointments. Meanwhile, Jeremy was overwhelmed. Ever since Taylor got pregnant, he had to juggle college classes with 2 part-time jobs, all while she showed up on campus accusing him of cheating with imaginary college girls, tracking his location, and demanding photos every hour. His parents never said it directly, but the disappointment was obvious. At every family dinner, they'd brag about Connor and me, our business, our engagement, calling me the daughter they'd always wanted. The following week, his car got towed into our shop. I was alone in the shop playing Radiohead through the speakers, while Jeremy sat on a stool near the workbench. We made small talk at first. College, wedding, his baby. But then out of nowhere, he said, "Remember physics class?" I stopped working and looked up at him. "Okay, what's all this about? Why are we suddenly talking like we were ever friends?" "But we were friends." I laughed. "No." I went back to checking the transmission fluid. "You made that very clear. We're not even friends. She just likes doing homework. Remember?" He got up, pain and exhaustion clear on his face. "I loved you. I've replayed that scene so many times in my head, in my nightmares, and I keep wishing I never did it, that things would turn out different for us." I wiped my hands on a rag, finally giving him my full attention. "And yet you still never apologized, even now. And what's funny is, after that, you went on to date Taylor. When I saw you with my brother, I couldn't help but want you to regret it too somehow." I looked him straight in the eye. "Well, I don't. Your cowardice was the best thing that ever happened to me." He stood there for a moment, looking like he wanted to say more. But what was left? He'd chosen his image over his best friend. Now he lived with that choice every day, working double shifts for a girl who'd played him from the start, while I built an empire with a brother who saw my worth from day one.